let's see. It says we're live. I think we are. How are y'all doing? So good to see you. It's Friday. Speaking abundant favor over you all. Nothing missing, nothing broken. It counts. Words count. You speak your future. And as we're reading today, holy cow, Batman. So welcome everyone. It looks like the chat is in and out. Looks like it's live now, but I don't know. YouTube was part of that whole thing yesterday. So yeah, go figure, eh? So, and I can see now that we're in good shape. So it says, all right. So it's cool. Everything is groovy in Planet Wayne. Yes, I have a planet named after me. Yeah, it's really a cool place to go. Trust me. And let's see, there we are. I'm live there too. So everything is groovy. It just depends on where I want to move. I think I'll just move right here. How's that? So what's up, folks? Happy birthday to you if you're having one. And of course, always be Bosto. It's quite interesting what we're studying. I don't know about you, but I'm liking it. I mean, I'm really liking it. Yesterday's video, I think, was just, it was good intentions that, unfortunately, with YouTube's format, that it sometimes wrecks things that isn't broken. And so just to appease the way that the whole thing went, just took it down. I'll be putting it back up without the song. But Michael, thank you for the song anyway, brother. I know that your heart was in the right place. Hey Shannon, what's up? Good to see you. This is good info. Trust me, it'll uplift you. Oh yeah. It's edifying. It's the kind of edifying that has been allowed to, how shall we say, mature. That's all I can say. I think, and it's fun. I'm telling you, it's changing my life. So again, Michael, thank you. And again, I'll get that and then we'll put it up there. And, you know, that's just the way it is. And hey, the thing about it is we can, we're flexible, like the mighty river flows. We kind of bend like the willow and we're all right. I got to say thank you for the overwhelming response. I've received more emails from last night's show on the Artist First. Yeah, all true. So, you know, gave you my resources and told you where the information comes. And so, you're kind of looking at this and what are you left with? You're going, okay. So what is the real story of humanity? We're lemmings. That's what it is. We're suckers because we always fall for it. We always fall for it. We're such suckers that there's a big sign in the universe that says, hey, you want to know where all the suckers are at? Right here on Earth. Hey, Martin Heidi, what's up? Uh, favor, peace to everyone. That's what we speak. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Hey, Robert V, how you doing? David Castle, Belanca, Susie Q, good to see you. Beloved Abstract, the Delta Hook, good to see you as well, my dear. John Price, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Deborah. Hello. So Robert V's got his show on tomorrow night, Milky Way Soul Tribe, 8 p.m., I believe, my time, 10 p.m. Eastern. I think the girls over on Andromeda 7, they got their show tonight. So check it out. Nina's got hers on Sunday night. So good to see you, Nina. Let's see. I wanted two swords, but I don't know what that is. So Walking Water. I like that. Yeah. Have to check out the latest. Yeah, check it out. It's yeah, it just kind of tells you what it is. And then we get to do with it what? So got something to really think about. Um, Getting it in, reading ahead of what we're going to read today, it really struck me on something, the how sometimes we're on the path, But it's amazing sometimes what we miss along the path. And here's a question. I put it up there at the top of the pinned chat. And I just want to read it because I think it says, if we are truly in a new age, then we must have new material or new knowledge. You cannot rely on old age material or knowledge in a new age reality. Doing so leads you in circles. And that is exactly what I contend, that I think we've been in this circle for a long time. So I put this little PowerPoint just kind of to set the consider this the pre-dinner appetizers. Have your favorite libation as we consider the following as class gets in full stream. So if this is the new age, they say it is. I happen to think it is. It's been seen in the stars. I mean, this is not new, but yet it is the new age. The question really comes in to focus here is that, well, then where is the new material? I'm going to get into some pretty controversial things because I'm about to show you it's time to basically put them on the shelf. You know, if you need to refer to them once in a while, but basically they're useless going forward. Absolutely useless. Like I said, they have their good points, but what I'm going to show you is that if this continues, we may never actually get to experience what we're considering this new age, this 26,000, what is it, 900 years, 25, whatever it is. So the old knowledge no longer works in the new age. And I know I'm going to have people push back on this, but folks, there is a proverb I once heard. You can't put new wine in old wineskins because it'll burst the skins. And so how do you propose humanity to move forward in this new age if we are relying on an old age knowledge that didn't work, quite frankly, in its age? It's just a reality check here. Old does not work in a new. Otherwise, it's not new. It's just another regurgitation. It's another reincarnation. It's of the same old shit that never did humanity any good at all. And if you want to say it did a little, well, I can accept that. Maybe poquito. I don't know. Old knowledge, the Bible, needs to be thrown out. It's useless. The Quran, the Vedic, the Torah, the Talmud, the Gnostic knowledges, the Golden Dawn, all presently known magic, all philosophy. Because, folks, that is of the old age. It has nothing to give us going forward. Now, I know that people are going to have their difference of opinions on this, but I contend, show me the evidence. Show me in any of these, in any of this, how it's advanced man anywhere. Dramatic pause. Dun, 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 dun. It's a serious question. You know, the tendency is to say, well, Wayne, it's rhetorical. No, it's not. All of these have held man back. There's not one redeeming aspect of it at all. All of their philosophies, all their constructs are prison-based. There have absolutely no freedom to it. It's either or. And it all seems to lead in the same circle. around and around we go. And my question is, where's the new knowledge? If we're in the new age, that means old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new, right? And if that's the case, then I just want to put it out there merely for discussion purposes. Because it no longer really makes any sense. It really doesn't. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think I am. Let's see. That's all I want is someone to show us the damn evidence. Yeah, show me. They've been around for 2,000 years. What has it done? What I have seen, it's led to a lot of bloodshed, a lot of regressed thinking, lots of fear. Oh man, I mean, fear is at its core. And when progress was brought forth in brief moments of clarity, hey, Crystal, what's up? They destroyed it, massacred the people who had the knowledge, burnt the books. How do you progress forward? And then today, this era that we live in, it's an era of delusion. It's confusion and it's illusion everywhere. What is supposed to be holy is profane. What was profane turns out to be actually holy. I read recently in one of the religious easings that the number of people going to church is falling every month. They estimate in America that nearly 50 million believers have left the church, have left Christianity, renounced Christianity. The exodus seems to be global, which leads then to this huge vacuum. Remember, the gods only exist if you worship them. They feed off of that. And when you pull your worship away, in a sense, you've just put a dagger into it. It's a death by 1,000 or 1,000,000 less believers. And so as the believer pool continues to dwindle, now we have this excess that's everywhere. And you've got some people who are in still kind of shock. You know, you got others that, well, they're just denialists about everything. And nihilism is no different than another form of religion. It's an ism. But it's easy because nihilism, there is no responsibility. You don't believe in anybody, not even yourself. That's just part of the process. And eventually, if you can work yourself out of all that, you begin to surface, and it's a brave new world. And you're finding yourself, fighting the tendrils of old belief systems, superstitions, habits, rituals. And it's because the tendency is to regress back to the old knowledge. Why? It's comfortable. It's familiar. Even as screwed up as it is, it's still, as they said, better to dance with the devil you know than to have the partner you've never seen. I don't know. I was always kind of the guy that I always looked for the one woman that every other guy said that, no way. And come to find out, they're just like the rest of us. They're just looking for someone who had a little bit of clarity. But I'm just reading some of the comments. Do you see what my point is, though? I mean, and then I'm not, and I always like it when you see the thumbs down. It's all right. It's validation that what's being taught here is exactly what needs to be heard. Because, folks, unless we have some new material that begins to guide us in a direction that's more in line with what we would call this new age, the age of Aquarius. And this is not some hokey pokey type of stuff. This is reality. This is the great wheel in the sky, as Journey would sing. This is the spiritual wheel in full motion. And listen, we saw what one rendition of this spirituality looked like. And the problem with these Abrahamic belief systems is that they're bloody. They're just bloody. And I don't believe that this is what Aquarius is bringing. I believe, again, as Aquarius is of the air, that we have to begin to look at, and what better subject than time travel? If this is the new air that's going to be here for a while, then there's got to be new knowledge. And so I was meditating on this, and I asked the spirits, where is this coming from? Where is this new knowledge supposed to be coming from? Because we have this web, this veil that's over the earth, and it's called religion, the belief systems, the constructs that our governments are founded upon. That's why we still have tyranny. That's why it's very rare to find any government that actually does work, that actually is, what I would call fair, honest. Oh, shit. Talking about honesty. Well, let's just move right on along. But my point is, and until there is an alignment, and you see the problem that we're in, because once you're into the sauce, so to speak, when it begins to slosh back and forth, all you're going to be is thrown from one side and then thrown to the other side. Extremes in, of the same belief system. I'm reading John Price. Well, John, exactly. And they probably have the same idea. I love it. But back to the point. So I put it out there, and I was quite impressed, I guess, of how quickly the response came back. The new knowledge is coming through us. As the old knowledge did with our predecessors of a time past, is how it came into them. Today, we are entering into, once again, where the whole idea that new thought is going to be channeled into you, if you're open and receptive of it. If you're not, don't worry about it. Just walk on by, because you don't need to deal with it. Now, to those of us who are more than welcoming a new approach, a new way of thinking, a new thought process. And it's not to say that those old knowledge don't have, like I said, put them on the shelf. They're good for, to look back to the way it was. And it's not to say that everything in them is not of some profit. It's just that the recipe sucks. And that's what we're looking for, is a new type of knowledge. And it's going to come from us. Many of you, Ryder will be coming on next month. It's happening. And that generation, his generation, more and more will become vessels for this new knowledge, this new way of thinking. And it's not to be feared. My old way of thinking, that if I had heard a person talk like me, I'd have told you that son of a bitch is a reprobate. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He has profaned the very belief system in which he was raised in and never listened to a heretic. Well, yeah, the shoe fits. Actually, it's kind of comfortable when I really get down to it. And so, hey, Gaia, how are you and Paul doing, my dear? Good to see you. Hey, Robin. And so here I am. And isn't it amazing that I was already here 66 years ago when I came into this plane? And I've experienced this thing called time travel. It's a head bender is what it is. So it is the way it is. I mean, because that's how, and it's odd because as I look at this and I go, fine, sticks and stones, fine. But I won't trade anything for the knowledge that I have gained. I love myself inside. It's a world. It's a world within a universe. And for decades, I didn't like myself. I seemed to be more trained by the doctrination that was taking place to focus in on my flaws instead of edifying and lifting up all of my passions, whether they be good or bad. Because again, it's impossible for you to exist without your attributes of virtues as well as your vices. It's what makes you uniquely you. And now that I've learned to embrace even that which is sometimes described by definition as a flaw, I love it. It's cool. It's like, okay, far out. So let's get on to it. I like this. I love how I read all this. Well, y'all seem to have groovy conversations going on. So let's get into our book. I love this book. This book is the type of thinking that we need. We really do. All right, so we're getting into the second book of a book that has a lot of books to it. That's all I can say. So it says, have you ever found yourself in a metaphysical bookstore feeling disappointed because there was nothing new on the shelves? There is an overwhelming feeling in many people today that with the advent of the new age, there should be new material and instructions on how to accomplish the task and lessons set forth by it. Instead, what they find is old age material that has been dusted off and renamed and presented as new age. As I look back and I got this eidetic memory, but the words of what they called the Christ is interesting because he was teaching the people back then much of what this is saying. What he was saying is that, man, y'all got this physical materialism, man, and unless you get rid of that monkey and realize that the only freedom out of this playpen is that you're going to do it inside. And I tell you, I do believe it's understanding the dimensions. I was thinking about this in meditating that white light that many people talk about. I've never seen it, but I have a whole different interpretation about it now. I mean, it's truly the evidence of the second plane. Now, you can turn it into a religious experience, but it does seem that it's kind of like this. What time travel does is that at one point you experience the warp factor, where realities are stretched and blend. Yeah. That's what he was saying. Yeah. Interesting. And they never got it. Very few did. Anyway, this course, A Course in the Time Traveler, seeks to fulfill some of these expectations. We've learned that. For example, one of our techniques will enable you to expand your center of consciousness, which is now about the size of a ping pong ball, in the average person to permanently expand the size that is many times larger. The increase in power and depth of feeling of this one technique alone is worth any amount of effort. And we have many techniques all leading to the maximization of your consciousness in the minimum amount of time. We seem to be in such a hurry. You know, if we manifest and you know, we're looking to manifest, and if it doesn't work in a day, a week, or a month, I've been manifesting some things for years. They're coming to pass, but sometimes it's what it takes. And when I really look at a year is only on this planet. If I was on the moon, a year would be different. But anyway, you may be unprepared, even shocked by some of the differences between what you have been studying or teaching and what is continued here. We cannot have it both ways. We cannot expect and demand change only to be upset because the material is different from what we have spent our lives studying. Having said that, I welcome you to the new age. The information on this website, in which you see it right up there, it's on the top of this, www.timetravelers.org. Check it out. Is separated into sections called excerpts. We're already, I think, on the 5th or 6th. Each excerpt is a lesson or technique as originally presented on the Time Travelers website. This took place over a 3-year period and was written by a master time traveler called the Time Traveling Oversoul, the TTO. We all got one. We are the Oversoul. Welcome home. Welcome back. All right. From the remote future, who shared some of its experience and knowledge with members of the Time Travelers organization. And over 50,000 visitors from all over the world. Yeah, going to have a few more too. We are both fortunate and blessed to have it remanifesting in our time period. Any modifications in the channeled text are for purposes of brevity and clarity. The Time Travelers text, and remember, folks, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Vedic, they were all channeled. It's quite revealing when you put it in that context. It was channeled. So now we're going to use a false matrix to say, well, that's fine if that was channeled, but you devil worshipers over here doing this kind of crap, you know what I'm saying? But wait a minute, buddy, it's the same thing. The hell you say. Yeah, the hell we do say. The Time Travelers text focuses on the long sought after manifestation by us of multidimensional consciousness here in the third dimension. This is achieved through a series of specially designed techniques and carefully prepared study that will begin an awakening process deep within you. Listen, I've gotten the emails and I'm seeing the comments. Those of you who this would be our 4th study in this stuff changes you, man. I mean, it gets down in deep inside. Although this is a complex form of time travel, it is by far the best form because it entails connecting with and allowing in parts of ourselves that now exist in the far distant future. Folks, if you believe you have a soul or spirit, then time travel is as real as the air you're breathing. Or maybe that is an air we're breathing. I don't know. This has proven to be a natural process in our spiritual and physical development. It is impossible to stress enough the importance of this opportunity. The Time Travelers website is designed to help you to take advantage of some of the many possibilities that are available to you, and you should check them out. The TTO has explained to us that the soul finally reaches the timelessness of the fourth dimension sometime in the remote future when it runs out of the three-dimensional opportunities to reincarnate. Now that's interesting. How many opportunities do you think that you want to come back here? Huh? I mean, if you get to the point and you said, I've had enough of this, thank you very much, but it is time to move on. This could be for any number of reasons, from a cataclysmic event that renders the earth uninhabitable to the death of the sun, or perhaps even the collapse of the universe itself. So what we do know that in the remote distant future, because remember, if you're measuring the future by years, okay, that's rather primitive. Why don't we just look at the future as? So we do know that in the future that, yeah, the earth is not going to be here anymore, and our sun will eventually burn out. It's the nature of things in this universe. So, for all the reincarnationists, that presents a problem. So where are you going to go? I mean, who wants you? Can you see it? You're going to another planet because Earth has just been, decimated by the sun or something. And the other planet spirits go, just keep your sorry ass in the desert, keep on moving. I mean, come on. Each soul may find a different reason because the future presents an infinite number of possibilities to it. It is then the souls discovers an opportunity and a need to remanifest back into a previous incarnations for the purpose of natural and continual spiritual progress. So think about it this way. All reincarnations are from the future, but every future reincarnation is dependent upon the past, which means that if you reincarnate again, your self that's in the future is merely have traveled back in time, because remember, all reincarnations are of past. There are no new. It's already been defined. So you're basically going back into the past of a past incarnation and apparently filling the vessel that is you, if that's what's happening. The soul, by the natural act of incarnation into a physical form, creates a living pattern in time and space that continues to resonate in the past. Oh, this is heavy shit, man. Woo! All right, let's hear that again. The soul, by the natural act of incarnation into physical form, 3D, creates a living pattern in time and space that continues to resonate in the past. Maybe that's how we find it, is by the resonating frequency. The laws of physics do not seem to apply to the past. Whoa. So I know there's a couple of PhD listening. How about that one? How would we begin? How would Einstein apply the past to the laws of physics? He was applying the future to E equals mc squared. But apparently, the past has a very, how shall we say, strong natural resonance to it. It said, for there appears to be only minimal loss, if any. This fact is not yet readily available to us in the third dimension. As the soul moves from incarnation to incarnation, it leaves a trail of self-maintaining past events that take on a limited life of their own. Holy crap. The soul is, through karma, attached to these past experiences by a spiritual signature that belongs to that soul alone. Wow. The soul in the far future, when it becomes the TTO, represents a holistic connection with dimensions beyond the three-dimensional limitations of time and space. When each of our souls who were initially here in the three-dimensional time, on this time track, they were in the process of creating on the leading edge of time. When each of our souls were here initially in three-dimensional time, on this time track, they were in the process of creating on the leading edge of time. I'll have to think on that one again. Leading edge of time. In my mind, I'm processing this like state of the art. Can anyone explain to me the word state of art? Leading edge of time. This caused the creation of brand new time tracks whose futures had not yet been written. Once created, each of these self-repairing time tracks can be maintained virtually forever. This is why we cannot tell exactly how long we have been re-experiencing them. We, as residual consciousness, have been, most likely, repeating this time track for countless eons. Deja vu, anyone? Woo! Yeah, you just got to pause at some of this stuff and you go, okay, I'm going to let that sink in. When the soul learns that it has outgrown the need to create any more time tracks in the third dimension, it, in searching for a continuum in order to further express its immortality, eventually understands that it has to move into the fourth dimension as part of a collective called the Oversoul. It now learns that its next spiritual evolutionary step is to experience what it perceives as the fifth dimension, which is a combination of the third and fourth dimensions. So technically, our returning oversouls are re-emerging with all of their three-dimensional time tracks concurrently in the past in order to realize the completion of their fifth dimensional chrysalis within each and every past incarnation. This signals an intimate chain reaction of rebirths of momental proportions. Yeah. As William Stanley Javron stated in The Principles of Science, true science will not deny the existence of things because they cannot be weighed or measured. It will rather lead us to believe that the wonders and subtleties of possible existence surpasses all that our mental powers allow us clearly to perceive. We must ignore no existence whatsoever. We may variously interpret or explain its meaning and origin, but if a phenomenon does exist, it demands some kind of explanation. And those of you who can look at this again, it has that psychic pull. It's like, yeah, it's the egg. It's what we look like on the other side. Unless you think of, as I was being taught this morning, there, in some planes of existence, the physical body that we perceive as being us cannot exist. The only thing that can exist in those dimensions is what we would call spiritual consciousness. And one of the reasons why we forget of past existences is that it would skew the purpose. If you already knew what each sports team was going to score, you would eventually go nuts. We live because we live for the unexpected. And we get trapped into the normalcy of ritualism. As the scientific world begins to explore the occulted side of the experience via the unified holographic paradigm model, this website is an attempt to concurrently bridge the scientific metaphysical gulf from the metaphysical side. No matter where you believe yourself to be in the above, properly applied, this information on the website can greatly enhance your efforts to achieve your spiritual and physical destiny. I happen to agree. Let's see. As we continue to go forward, we now get into excerpt 7. I knew we were up there. Excerpt 8. Opening the heart, throat, and upper solar plexus, the chakras. This excerpt will be devoted to the beginning level of meditation techniques. Let us take a break from our studies and begin learning how to open up various energy centers. Many of us are very well experienced on this. And I kind of look at this, well, let's see what's being said here. Could be a golden nugget ready to be found. We will start by concentrating on opening and warming up the heart center located in the middle of the chest at the sternum, and not the actual area where the physical heart is located. It says, feel for the indentation located between the breast. It's right there. We need to learn and practice these beginning techniques on a daily basis to prepare us for the fifth dimension meditations later on, which are absolutely necessary to progress in this course. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes a day to soon become proficient. Our next step after opening the heart center is exchanging energies between the throat and solar plexus. Attention must be paid to the order in which the steps are taken. Orders in which the steps are to be taken. The first step is a centering process has to take place to bring you into the heart center. It can be accomplished through stimulation of the heart center by rubbing in a circular motion with the fingertip of one of your hands. I use a counterclockwise motion, and I do too, but you might find clockwise to be better suited for you. Do this until you feel some heat beginning to generate there. It might also help to visualize a middle to light green flower that is opening. With practice, it can feel quite warm, if not hot. If you do not feel warmth right away, that's okay. It will come in time. Just remain diligent. The second step, place the fingertips of your dominant hand, right hand if you're right-handed. Now, if you're ambidextrous like I am, choose whatever feels good, all right? On top of the upper portion of your solar plexus, about 2 inches above the navel, visualizing it relaxing and becoming receptive. Maybe, you can almost think about you're actually just sending your heat into that part of your body, and you'll get it. Feel it slowly opening like a dark yellow or golden flower if you are male. If you are female, visualize it as a bright pink flower. Actually, you can visualize it in any color you want. It helps me to make a slow opening motion with my fingertips. When you have done this, go to the next step. Third, switch hands so the fingertips of your non-dominant hand are on the upper portion of your solar plexus. This helps to secure the process made there. With your dominant hand, place your fingertips at your throat center, just below the Adam's apple, so that the fingers are together and pointing towards the throat. Now begin to slowly open your fingers as you visualize your throat chakra begin to open. See this center as a mid-range blue flower blooming. As it opens, you may feel a warm rush of energy in the solar plexus. If you do not, it's okay. It helps if you can generate energy at your fingertips. Many natural healers, we do this naturally. I don't know, I never really question how, I just know it works. I've thought about it a lot, but yeah. And you can literally do this. You can generate if you just focus on just your fingertips and just focus seeing heat beginning to generate. And yeah, it doesn't take long at all. So it says, it helps if you can generate energy at your fingertips. Do this by visualizing the feeling energy charging up to your fingertips. It works. I just got to tell you. So we can still go on. All right. So these are just exercises. Again, you can go to the website or you can go, I got the PDF either way. But if you're serious, these really work. Now, if you're already into what I would call advanced level meditations, you just use these and incorporate them. And many of us, you're going to read, well, I'm well on the way. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like walking into the class, and the teacher gives you the material and you open up the textbook, never really ever looking at it and going, I already know this. All right. Excerpt 9, opening the mouth center and lower solar plexus center. In this excerpt, we're going to learn how to open up the next pair of centers. But first, we're going to look at some charts showing the basic difference between men and women. Although men and women have the same number of chakras located in the same areas of the body, the chart below shows the preference between male and female. This, in part, explains some of the more obvious differences between us. Yes, I know that there's a lot of information contained on this chart, but for now, just note the basic differences between a man and a woman. Don't worry about learning anything on the chart at this point in your studies. We will get into detailed study of various centers and colors and what they mean in a later lesson. And so here you can see the feminine is much more complex. The male, it's pretty simple, because that's basically what most males are spiritually. Very simple. Whereas with you ladies, it's extremely complex. So did y'all get that? I mean, what has the men got, right? Indigo, yellow, red, infrared. That's about it. Ladies, ultraviolet, lilac, lavender, purple, indigo, blue, green, mustard, orange, burgundy, brown. What can I say, guys? And now you want to know, well, wait a minute, what's with all this, patriarchal crap? Anyway, I digress. Okay, we have yet another chart. We'll get this and I'll kind of put this into it. So the chart below is a little different representation of the basic differences between a man and a woman. This is in the purest, most abstract sense and is not meant as an actual representation of the human aura. Keep in mind that both men and women have the identical number of chakras, but prefer the combination shown here. The actual size, shape, and colors radiating in the human aura depends upon many factors, and it may change from moment to moment depending on the emotional mental content. It's true. I'm telling you what, Trina, we'll be talking a lot on this stuff. This is good stuff. Okay. Next level of meditation. In this meditation technique, we're going to open two more balance chakras, the mouth center, indigo, and the lower half of the solar plexus, the bright yellow. First, in each of these exercises, try to generate energy at your fingertips. Practice, you can do it. Always begin with warming up the heart center. This can be done by rubbing in a circular motion, also by picturing a green flower opening up. Next, activate the throat by tapping it, visualizing it opening up like a blue flower or a flower of your choice. You can also use the energy of your dominant hand, fingers pointing towards inwards towards the throat. By slowly opening up the center with an opening motion of the fingers begin together pointing towards the throat center. Slowly spread the fingertips away from each other in a wandering circle. Feel the energy of your fingertips opening up the center. Open the upper solar plexus center using the same process. Visualize a pink or dark yellow flower, whichever feels best for you. Feel the upper solar plexus as an empty vessel waiting to be filled by the energy from the throat center. Both the throat and upper solar plexus may begin to feel warm by varying degrees of elation. If you still feel nothing, don't be discouraged. The exercises will help you whether you feel immediate results or not. This help will come in the form of improved relationships and circumstances in your everyday world. Wow. They say that there is an unlimited flow of opportunity. It's just that most people don't know how to connect to them. And that's immediately what I thought when I read that. Third, use the same process to open the mouth center, the indigo, a very dark blue purple, and the lower solar plexus center, the bright yellow. Tap your lips lightly to wake up the center. Then, using the opening motion with your fingertips, slowly open your mouth at the same time. Once done, switch hands and use the opening motion on the lower solar plexus located just below the navel. If the center is slow to respond, use the circular rubbing motion outline for the heart center. Feel and visualize this center relaxing and slowly opening. This may cause a feeling of warmth from your throat extending all the way down to your lower solar plexus. That seems like a good place just to break off. This is good stuff. All right, we'll pick up on excerpt 10, beginning time travel techniques. Oh man, that's just, okay, this will be fun. All right. Man, I'm really digging the knowledge here. All right. So for whatever, I hope that helped. That I dig it. I'm telling you, it's just good stuff. And let's see. Okay, I gather this interesting. Yes, seeker of truth too. Yeah, there is differences between the male and female, much more than what we want to admit. If a male is really honest, I mean, he'll tell you, females are complicated. They're complex. It's what makes it fun, you know? That's why they're I think the original creators. Mrs. B says, thank you to all the moderators. They are awesome people. They are. They really are. It is. Thank you. It's like I said, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's okay. It's fine. Where everyone's on a path. And when, I run contrary of some people, it's like, okay, yeah, it's all right. We're all on the path of discovery. May not be my path, but nevertheless. So, all right. So everyone, have yourself a great Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to cut this a little short, and I'm actually going to be printing this out because I do love meditating. I love where it takes me, whether it's lucid dreaming or whether it's astral projecting. Um, I don't know at this point. Sometimes it no longer needs to be defined for me. It's out there. I know this is that I hear my spirit guides. I am fully versed that the spirit realm only communicates through telepathy. Very, very rarely do you actually ever hear a physical voice. Um, Rarely do you ever see something like anyone who's using automatic writing. The way a spirit speaks is to your mind. You have to have the discipline and the ability to know the difference of who's talking. Because once you begin to realize that many times the voice will sound like your own voice, but you'll find out that it's not speaking the way that you talk. Does that make sense? Um, Isby says, I'm traveling today and got a chance to where I could, well, welcome. I haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Kind of missed you. Females are layered. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Isby, we just send you much love. So think about it. If you can learn that, folks, conversations are going, information will come to you that will astound you. You'll find out that we all have spirits who adore us, who love us. We have spirits who do not. They look to harm us. It's what they do. And what we call spirit guides are kind of master spirits, or sometimes I have a sense that I'm almost talking to myself, in the sense that spirit guides and what they provide, but nevertheless, they're actual real entities. They're real spiritual beings. Maybe you will be a spirit guide in the next time. Maybe you might find before you can move on to the fifth dimension that being a spiritual guide is one of the most rewarding things that you can do. Thank you, Martin and Heidi. Uh, Much love to you too. It's fun here. It is. I always like coming on Fridays. I know sometimes I didn't in the past. All right. Yep. Danny says, tame your spirits. Absolutely. Yeah. Uh, yeah, Ryan Van Zant. So that's why I have to keep love there at the head of this. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Spirit Woman, that sounds really cool. She says the Golden Gate Spiritualist Church is filled with all kinds of spirit paintings and automatic writing. Yeah, I bet that is. Yeah, no doubt. Those are the kind of places I like to visit, because the spirits are active, man. The thing about museums is that, particularly natural museums, the spirits are there. I mean, some spirits really like it here. I think they really do. They dig it, and some others don't. Adolf was right. Great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, everyone. Much love to you. Y'all are just it's just an honor to come here just to share with this group. I appreciate every one of you, and thank you for hitting the like button. It seems to help in the algorithms, although YouTube does discriminate against channels like mine. That's cool. The ones who need to hear always end up here. That's the way I look at it. All right, folks. See you on Monday, and enjoy it. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. How's that little baby doing? I think I'm right on that. Yeah, I think I am. Hello, Kenneth. Good to see you. Mike, it's good to see you. Have a kick-ass weekend. That's what I love. Yeah, absolutely. Rock and roll. All right, folks. I will see you later. Number 88.